Gracias, Harry, with that J.
Thank you, Harry.
With the J.
Harry Blancas. Are you Harry Blancas?
Yes, Harry Blancas.
I am.
You know, I
She's
was like, fuck
making
it.
fun of you, man.
Oh, shit.
Hola, yo soy Cristina Tenorio de Alfa 91.3 y hoy estoy muy emocionada de compartir, pues obviamente la cabina con LP, que cuando le escuchan inmediatamente la voz atrapa, la voz hace temblar, la voz emociona. So welcome LP, how are you?
What's up?
I was saying in Spanish that whenever someone listened to you, well, I mean, we talk off the record about my story, that you made me cry and a heartbroken story, well whatever.
That's
but
so
your
sad.
voice, it brings like shivers to everyone and the goosebumps.
I don't know about to everyone, but thank you. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And
I
about
like it. I'll try
about
it.
these goosebumps,
Yeah. And about these goosebumps.
these goosebumps, what happens when you're on stage and you sing and
Yeah.
see people singing back to you your songs?
It's really cool.
Which song gives you the goosebumps?
Oh God. I mean, not anything right now. But I think all of them. I mean, it's just so, what a cool thing to like write words and then people sing them at you. I mean, it's really cool. I love it.
But one song that maybe when you're on stage, you were having a bad time that you can recall that gave you this moment of, that your throat was like.
I mean, I sing this new song, Recovery, and it's just me and the piano player. And I have to be careful because, like, you have your in-ear monitors in. They're, like, stuffed in your ears. And sometimes I'll take it out and I'll hear people singing along, and it's so cute. And it's, like, sometimes it's really out of tune, I'm like, oh, geez, put it back in there. I can't,
Please.
I can't listen to it, otherwise I'll go off tune, and then we'll all be lost. But, it's so heartfelt and so sweet, and it really gives me the shivers.
We're gonna talk about it later because it's one of my favorite songs of the year.
Which one?
Recovery.
Oh, Recovery. Wow,
Yeah,
cool.
Recovery.
Thanks.
But first, let's talk about you and your life. Ukulele?
Yes.
Yeah? It's a
yes.
very powerful thing in your life.
It's small but powerful.
Small but powerful.
I like to think I'm like that as well.
What was happening before in your life?
I had made this like kind of switch from being like going hard as being an artist for myself to being a writer for other people. So I was just throwing myself into it wholeheartedly. I was like, I gotta write as much stuff as I can with as many people as I can, do as many sessions.
Yes. Yes.
And and the ukulele was my way of because a lot of sessions don't start from scratch. A lot of them when you're writing for other for big pop artists and stuff, you go and you write to track. The track already exists and you're just writing on top of it. So it could get really, it can get robotic, sometimes. And I missed, the acoustic instruments and stuff. So I started playing ukulele because I always wanted to, and because it's so portable. It's so like, when you roll up on a session with a guitar, you feel very like, excuse me, when you put the guitar out and you're like, we're going to do this on guitar. But when you have a ukulele, you just like roll up and you have it in your hand and you could be holding it for like hours and people are like, oh, what's that? And then you're just like, it's this.
It's this small thing.
Yeah, and it just has a vibe to it. I love it.
But it's kind of bittersweet to me, the sound, because ukulele to me, it sounds like happy.
Yeah,
sweet.
I think it sounds
but then
sad too.
Really?
I think it does. That's the thing. I think it does both things. I think I feel like I feel very akin to the ukulele as a person, just because I feel like, it's small but it has power and it has like the ability to like shift moods. It could go from very melancholy, play some minor chords on it, and it's really melancholy and sad, and then it could be like super happy and uplifting.
Yes.
And I felt it's also, I loved how the juxtaposition of like, I'm like kind of like a loud singer, like a belter, and the ukulele is like a gentle kind of instrument. It always brings a lot of songs out in me, so I love it.
Okay, and you were, as you said, writing just before the ukulele happened, and then you also talked in an interview about going to a Fits in the Tantrums show. You felt like, wow.
Yeah, that's
really
in the vaults.
Yeah.
Noelle of Fits in the Tantrums, she was singing like this. It was before they hit, and I remember just like hearing her voice, and like when I hear a singer that I think is awesome, or that like that I feel like vibes with, it makes me want to sing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what makes you feel like? I mean, you were
I don't
there
know, the tone of her voice. Yeah, I'm just having a beer, just in a bar, and I just was like, wow, it's making me want to sing. And I had been, just writing songs for people for about 6 months, and I remember, and I was And I was fine with it. I hadn't toured, because when I signed, I had been touring nonstop for like 3 or 4 years. And then when I signed my first major label deal, I was on it for 3 years. I didn't tour at all for 3 years. And I didn't miss it. Like, it was weird. My friends were like, do you miss touring? And I was like, I don't actually. I'm like, cool, and I had like let myself go over to like being a writer, but then I remember hearing her voice and some other people too, and I just felt like, oh man, I still love singing, and so I just started singing every Thursday night at that club that I saw Noel at, people started like getting involved again.
Okay, so you were, not in a comfort zone, or you felt like you were in a comfort zone before?
I never feel like I'm in a comfort zone. I haven't been comfortable since I popped out of the womb, so to speak. Yeah, it's been uncomfortable the whole time.
Okay, and then, it wasn't the Fits and the Tantrums concert, but you felt that rush of singing again. What happened after? You went home, you started writing for you?
No, it wasn't as simple as that. I always sang, like, when I write songs for other people, I usually sing the demo. Like, I'm the person that, like, after we finish a song, I demo it, so I was getting to sing, but like I was just like on Thursday nights they had this thing at this club in Hollywood that was just like it had a live band and you would sing a cover song, and so I started doing that every Thursday, just for fun. But then people started to like come just to see me, and then it got me going again, and it's record people started coming down. I'm like shortening the story, but it was like over like a 2.5 year period, and I was writing songs on the ukulele for myself, like songs like Into the Wild and things like this, and then I got some new managers that were like, hey, you should, maybe you should keep writing for yourself. And I was like, okay. And then, I don't know, one thing led to another. My song Into the Wild got on a big Citibank commercial in the States that played for like 2 years, and I got a record deal, in those early days. And then I started doing my stuff again.
What happens when you write hundreds of songs? What happens with that ones, for example, Fighting With Myself?
Oh gosh,
you love it, but
it
didn't make
song.
into the record.
It's
frustrating for you?
Very. Like, I feel like that's the kind of stuff that, like, I wouldn't normally bore you with if you hadn't asked me, but like, okay, that song for me, my record Forever For Now, when I talk about it, and it got overproduced, and it went down the wrong, like it was going down the right road, and then suddenly it veered off the highway and went down the wrong road. And losing that song on that record was one of the like, when I look back and I'm like, wow, that's where that record went off the rails. And I really tried to keep it on the record. We produced it with a great producer, but the guy that was the main producer didn't like it. And so then I was trying to fight for it, but so many things are going down at that point, and major labels. These are the things. I could do like a podcast on all the like little kind of things that happen, without like void of bitterness and pain and everything. I'm cool with it now, but I can really see where things go wrong with records and labels, because I feel like Fighting With Myself was almost for me a precursor to writing Lost on You. It had elements of that to me, and it's funny to me, that song could be left out of a record, because
it was important to you.
It was very important to me, and it was a lesson learned that I won't do that again. But like, you have to pick your battles sometimes. You just like, it is literally an assault sometimes on your artistic like soul to be on a label sometimes. The powers that be just like kind of warp the normal flow, and sometimes I think because they just want to get things out and quote unquote help you, but it's very harrowing experience in a lot of ways.
And what happens, for example, when a song you didn't thought it was going to be like a hit for someone you wrote? It becomes a hit, and then
that's why I don't even think about hits. Like people are like, what do you think is a hit on this next record? I'm like, I have no idea. You're asking me like because people like in places when Lost on You has been such a major hit, and people will look at me like with this really like almost like religious look on their face and be like, so
oh my God,
when you wrote Lost on You, you must have known. I'm like, oh my dude, I didn't know anything, because I got dropped from Warner Brothers for that song after I played them that song. Yeah, I played them that song, and they were like, "That's great, bye." Click, and there was like like a hole opened up in the floor, and I just like fell through. I was like, like it was like wow, So wow. It's I always tell the story all the time, because I just want artists to to hear it so that they can have some encouragement to like keep going, because you know, one man's trash is another's treasure. I say it all the time. Like, you know, like it's a very subjective business. You know, like I've walked into meetings with people that were like, you know, to give me things or to like sign me or something. I'm like, this person is not going to sign me. Like this person,
you know what you feel.
Yeah, they don't get it at all. And then, you know, it's like dating. You know, it's like, you know if you're going to get, you know, you're going to get the golden ticket or not. You know, you're just like, yeah, this is not going to happen. So
okay, you talk about a very important thing about well, not failure, but about talking not all the good
Let's
stuff.
talk about failure.
No.
I'm going to go on about it.
I know that maybe, you know, there's a global movement that is called the Fuck Up Nights.
Oh,
people
wow.
go on Thursday. I don't know.
Fuck
Sunday.
up nights?
Yeah.
I didn't know we were allowed to curse on here. Fuck. I wish I had fucking known. Jesus.
So you go there and you have like 8 minutes and you talk about some experience that it didn't go well, like a failure. And then when you share that experience with someone else, they learn from not all the good and pink moments. Yeah. So can you, if you would be invited to the Fuck Up Nights, what would you talk about?
I mean, I kind of blew my load because I would have talked about that especially. Okay. You know, and also, you know, the fighting with myself moment. I also think, you know, one of the major things, like, you know, you have nothing. One of the biggest things I'm grateful for, like from where I am right now, is I have so much perspective on like what it took to get here and how lucky I am, you know. But and I think that, like, you know, it's a shame when you don't use your experience. And like one of the experiences that I think I had, that I knew when I was on Warner Brothers back in the day, before I even wrote Lost on You, but you know, I was like touring a lot with my live EP that had Into the Wild on it. And I think you know, they asked me to come off the road so I can finish writing the full length record. And you know, and I was doing really well. I was getting a lot of like good offers and guarantees for shows, live shows, and I would have never come off the road and I should have known that, you know, like something like that. But you know, I have no regrets. Everything went exactly the way it should go, and you know, everything's cool. But yeah, I think, like, you know, I think one of the biggest things in business in general, but you know, in artistic business, is like listening to your gut. And I never understood that, like, you know, like kind of like older producers and people like that would say that to me, like, you know, my gut says, and I'd be like, I want to say that. I want to know what that feeling is, like what that gut feeling is. And I feel like, you know, I kind of get it now, and I can listen to it, you know, and I think that's like, you know, it pisses me off, like that I didn't listen to it a couple of times.
Okay. But I mean, you're talking about something very difficult, that is when you feel something but you don't know how to say it. So this the name of the next album, Heart to Mouth.
Yeah.
How do you put things so easy? Well, I mean,
it's so easy.
It's so easy. No.
How did that come about?
No. I mean, whenever you want to say something, how do you make it like you have an emotion?
Dude, I have this feeling in my heart. I'm telling you, like when I'm like doing melodies, it's like words too, but like especially melodies, I could feel it because it's this very like kind of almost like it's so emotional, you know, when you're like, for me, when I'm like, you know, when the music's like, when we finish the music and I start like spitting melodies out on the mic, you know, to figure out what I'm going to do. And I like, you know, usually like having some kind of concept in my head, but I can feel it just like kind of like this feeling coming out of my heart, like kind of this, where it feels like I'm you know, when like you love a song and you're like, I think it's because the melody matches the lyric, you know, and that's what I'm trying to search for always. I don't know if I do it all the time, but I think that's where I kind of get like, that's the kind of game of writing a song for me, where I'm like, can I do this? Can I try to like meld those two things together?
Okay, so Heart to Mouth is going to be out on
December 7th.
Yeah. Which was one of the most challenging songs of the record for you?
Oh gosh, let's see. They were all pretty challenging. I mean, you know, I think One Night in the Sun was a difficult one because it had many different versions, and you know, and I wanted it to really be like a kind of like a poem, like a and like a feeling, like one of those dreams, you know. Like those dreams you wake up from and you can't explain the details, but like there's a feeling that like doesn't feel right, you know. So that was an interesting one to get right. A lot of them like kind of just like popped out, you know.
Okay, and about recovery, I was telling before.
Oh, that was a tough one.
Let's not talk about love and heartbrokens, but
don't talk about it.
But about recovery, I mean,
that was a tough one. I'm sorry, I forget.
No, it might be over, but not tonight. I might be older, but I still cry.
Yeah.
Damn.
Girl, what's up with that? That's the oldest song on the record because I wrote that about my ex.
Okay.
And I was the one that left in that relationship. The one after that, I was left, even though, well, I was left, but then technically she came back around and then was like, and then I was like, yeah, no. But anyway, but this one I left and it was like, you know, I'm sure you've been on that part of it before, that side of it. But it's like it's like a helpless feeling not to be able to go back to someone or know that you should leave, you know. But I was like, I was thinking about all the angles of it, and like, you know, I was trying to talk from her side about like, you know, just like, don't call me, don't text me, don't get in touch with me, you know. And but then when I was on the other side of it, I felt like that's when I could put it on a record, when I really understood it, because it felt kind of douchey to be like, you know, to like not have experienced that part of it, you know, and put it on a record. And I wrote it thinking I was giving that song away, and then no one cut it, so I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna put this song on a record, girl.
And then I mean, I don't know if this is a good question, but what happened when, for example, lost in your recovery, when they know your exes that they're out? They call you.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, my ex is like blissfully unaware of my, like, she doesn't pay attention. Like, she knows now that, like, you know, because she's from Greece and I do really well in Greece, so I know she knows. She knows. Yeah, and we're I wouldn't say we're okay. We're sort of cool at this point, but yeah, she doesn't know that song. She doesn't listen to that song. She doesn't listen to my stuff. She's like,
I don't want to know about you.
Yeah, fuck off.
Okay, about Special, there is also a song coming on Heart to Mouth.
Yeah.
It's also like a hard song and a bittersweet in a relationship with Mexico, because it was one of your friends.
Yeah, it's about Renato Lopez, my friend, who was killed.
Here.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you got here in Mexico? You think about him?
Yeah, I mean, I just saw all our friends last night, you know, and and he was just such a special guy to me and to all of them, and he was like this connector of like my friends, like, you know, we're super tight. We're like all like gonna buy a place here, you know, like I pictured owning a restaurant someday with Renato, you know, like I mean, we were
which
really,
kind of food?
Mexican food, of course. Like a tequila bar, you know, taqueria or something.
Taqueria, yeah,
you know.
Harry, taqueria.
Yeah, Harry, taqueria. Harry Blancas. Yeah, and I just had all these plans, you know, with him. It's like my first like friend to really, that I had that kind of connection with, that, you know, passed away. And I wanted to write a song for him, but nothing too sappy, you know, but and then this popped out one day, and I was just like, this is the one, you know. And I try not to force stuff, you know, like as far as like writing songs about people or politics or whatever it is. I just like do what like it's like seems I'm thinking about. So this one feels good, and I like how rock and roll it is. He would have appreciated that.
I know that I like that you can remember him in a good way, like laughing and.
Yeah. He you know, we met in LA, and he was actually doing music at the time. I didn't know he I don't think he quite knew he would, you know, go on to do acting and you know, whatever. But he definitely was like a bright spot, you know, and also just like kind of brought me really into Mexico and with like serious Mexican friends, connections, and I'll always remember him.
Okay, and just like the last question, if you could put like in a time capsule to like a moment so it would last forever, which 2 moments you would put in a time capsule? Like, I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Coachella, I don't know, some really special moments when you get a DM from your producer, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would probably put a moment from my mom being alive, you know, when I was a kid, and I would put probably one of the first times I played the first song, Muddy Waters, in this massive what are they like what is the place like in Italy where gladiators fight? The Coliseum. Like, it was like a massive Coliseum in Bucharest, and I started singing Muddy Waters to like 10,000 people, and it was like the first big show I did in Europe, and I just remember going like, whoa, this is cool. Like, it just felt like something was happening, and it was the beginning of like pretty much 2.5 to 3 years of constant touring and having these incredible experiences. So yeah, it might be that one.
You see, it's always the goosebumps with you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And emotions and everything.
Exactly.
Another moment you can recall? You could put in a time
Oh
capsule.
gosh, time capsule.
Yeah.
Time capsule. Maybe I don't want to be non-romantic. I'll be like the first time I kissed Lauren, my fiance, or the first time I saw Orson when someone brought him to me, and actually the woman was Mexican, and we met in San Antonio, and Orson, my dog, just like popped out of this bag, and it's just the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life. So yeah, maybe that's like lame, but like yeah.
No,
and then
it's
good. And then like one of many nights with Renato or something.
Okay.
Drinking tequila in Mexico City.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I mean, it's morning. I maybe I wish it was
Yeah, it
later
is.
so we could have mezcal
I don't really
and
do
talk
that.
about
Yeah.
love and heartbroken.
We can do that. We
Damn,
can
we
tomorrow
need more
night after
time.
the show.
Yes, an after party.
Yeah, after
Cut it
party.
up. Harry Blancas tacos.
Harry Blancas, get the mezcal, please.
Yeah.
Por favor.
I mean, it's amazing to be tequila. It's amazing to be talking with you, someone
you
that is
too.
so transparent and show how to be vulnerable. You're not afraid to show it, so
Yeah, fuck it,
and to connect with people. It's
Yeah.
hard to do that,
It is, but like to me that's like my life's work most of all, as much or more than music. I mean, that's like I just got to do it through music, so it's really cool.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
LP was here in Alfa 91.3. Yo soy Cristina Tenorio y pues ojalá se armen pronto esos mezcales, tacos, pláticas, amor, desamor, love, heartbroken,
Yeah.
amor, desamor,
Amor, desamor.
lágrimas, cry.
Lágrimas.
Yeah. You want to know some
I
more
want to
in
know it all.
Spanish?
Lágrimas.
Love, amor.
Love, amor.
Amor.
I know that I know.
Okay.
Amor.
Yeah, the heartbroken is desamor.
Desamora.
Stories of amor, desamor.
Desamora is heartbreak.
Yes.
Amor, desamor.
Lágrimas.
That's the name of the next record.
Dolor.
That's it. Dolor. What's
Dolor?
dolor?
Pain.
Pain. Wow, you're speaking our language. You're speaking the language. I like
Thank
it.
you for being
Yeah,
here.
of course.
There's a song that we always sing in a way, then we realize it's
Yeah.
like, the lyrics didn't say that at all.
I mean, hit me, baby, one more time. I mean, I thought that was about like poker.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No. I have no idea. I just was the first thing that came to my head. I think my LP was Led Zeppelin 4, and I love it. Going to California, things like this. It's funny that I never thought about going to California, but I went to California way later. Lost in Translation. I think. Oh, you know what? I think Paul Simon's "Slip Out the Back, Drag, Make a New Plan, Stand." No idea what that was about. I thought, like I had no idea that was like, I didn't know about love when I heard that song. So it's just like funny to me now, like thinking about someone trying to like get away from someone romantically. But yeah, I just thought it was like some dude, like some little like Mario Brothers kind of dude, like just like leaving. Guilty pleasure. I don't watch a lot of shows, and I haven't even finished watching this show, but like I watched a few episodes of that show This Is Us on a plane, and then I got hooked on it. And I was like, why am I watching this? It's good, but it's also like it's on a major network, so it's like very PG, and I switched to like different shows that are on Netflix because it was too much. I felt too like I was like, are they gonna have sex? They're gonna have sex. Oh, they didn't show it. Oh shit. Okay. That's it. There you go.